All right, we're live.
Woo.
Yay.
This is it. I think we have one person joining us so far.
We are super early.
I feel like I should have had some music playing.
Who's got ...
Was it me?
Oh, that was my Slack. I'll shut it up.
You can mute that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining, you guys. We're going to get started in a little bit here. We're a few minutes early, but thank you to the early birds for being here. We're going to get started in a few minutes, you guys. But while we wait, I'm going to be posting all three of our LinkedIns in the chat. If you want to be LinkedIn friends, if you have questions after this webinar, you want to DM any of us, please, feel free to. We'd love to hear from you. And if you want to share your LinkedIns as well, please feel free. We would love to be friends with everyone. We're going to get started here in 1 more minute, folks. We're just letting people trickle in here a little bit in case we have a couple late people. And we'll get started in just a few minutes, or just like 1 more minute here. Alrighty, well, let's get started here, folks. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're having a weird technical issue, so I actually can't see how many people are in the audience. But thank you for being here. I'm so glad to see you. There's a few people in the chat already chatting. For some reason, I can't see audience members. So if you want to post in the chat so that we know you're here, it'd be super cool to hear from you if you're comfortable doing so. But we're going to get started here despite not being able to see you lovely folks. So sorry about that, but let's get started. Thank you so much for joining us. This is part 2 in a series where we're talking about getting new customers, keeping new customers, making more money. Basically all the things that were most requested from you guys, the audience, for webinar topics. So couple quick housekeeping things. My name's Becca. I am based in a tiny, tiny little town in Western Canada where it is cold as heck today. We've got Ben here. He's our product manager, and he is based in the United States and is also freezing cold today. And then we've got Kate joining us from the UK, and she is our director of product. And we're super pumped to go through these slides with you guys today. We have 2 downloadables that we're going to send out to you guys within about 24 hours after this call, based on today's content. One, we reached out to a whole bunch of different people and we collected the 15 best, most recommended AI tools for crushing sales. And this is everything from like the prospecting side to the closing side. Super excited about all the resources. We've got the prices, we've got all the details for all the different tools. So we're going to share that with you guys, the 15 most recommended tools we could find. As well, on the next slide here, we're going to talk about saying no today and telling people you don't want to meet with them. So we also put together a document of 10 polite ways that you could tell people, yeah, I don't want to meet with you, without burning bridges or feeling like you're being rude, which we all need sometimes. It's important to say no, but it's not always easy. So I'm going to share that with you guys within about 24 hours after this meeting. And because we always get asked, yes, this is being recorded. Yes, I will send out the recording. Yes, the recording will be posted to YouTube within a couple hours of this meeting. So if you have to dip early for whatever reason, or I'm just talking too long and we run out of time, you can check it out on YouTube, or I'll email you the video here in the next day or so. With that, let's get started. Why are we actually here today to talk about? Booked meetings don't always turn into sales. And we've all felt that. Like, it's so frustrating where you have what you think is a great prospect and they don't show up. Or you have unqualified leads showing up in your calendar that are wasting your time and you don't know how to politely tell them, like, I don't want to meet with you. So you're showing up even though you don't really want to or need to. Or you have calls that feel so good and you come out so pumped and then they never convert. And all these problems are so frustrating. And the goal isn't to get you more meetings because we're all busy. I don't have time for more meetings in my day. What I need is better meetings that turn into actual money, meetings that convert, where people show up to them, they're the right fit, and they convert. So we're going to go through some strategies today to get you those higher converting meetings. So a quick overview of the 4 broad strokes we're going to be covering today. We're going to talk about pre-qualifying your leads before they show up to the call and how to automate it. Increasing your show up rates, because I don't want to just sit here and pray that you're going to show up for my time. I'm busy. Being super prepared for every single sales call so you can knock that pitch out of the park, and using automation and AI to close those leads faster, because more money in the bank, nobody's going to say no to that. So to kick things off, Kate had a really great conversation with a YouCanBookMe user a couple of days ago, and we want to share a bit of it first. Kate, can you tell us more?
Sure. Thank you, Becca. So Suzanne Doyle Ingram is the founder of a company called Prominence Publishing. And she, the company basically helps company founders business leaders in general write and importantly publish business books. And then the other part of their business is getting that book to high read status and then using it in great marketing ways to market the business in general and to improve conversions and growth. And so she's been using YouCanBookMe for over 9 years, and she has worked really, really hard to get it to work for her. Like the YouCanBookMe is working harder for Suzanne than almost anybody else I know. And one of the things she's done is that she makes sure that everybody she's meeting is a valid prospect. So she's not wasting her time with anybody that isn't going to potentially buy. So let's have a listen and see what she says.
People used to say, hey, can I take you for coffee? I want to pick your brain. And those days are over. Eventually, about 10 years ago, I started saying to people, you can take me for a coffee, but it costs $75. And people would pay expensive coffee, but my time is expensive. I mean, I wouldn't do it now for $75. Let me tell you that. So with the pre-qualification questions, if there are other people watching this or listening to this who are YouCanBookMe clients, and if you're not, you should be, because it's amazing. I rarely have no-shows. Rarely. So there's two parts to it. One is I want to qualify the person, make sure that they are the right fit for us. So if they're writing if they're writing a fiction book, like a romance novel, I can't help them. We don't do fiction at all. So that's the other thing too, Kate, is that I'm like, okay, if they pay X amount of dollars for us to, if they invest X amount of dollars for us to publish their book, I want to see them make that money back. I'm a firm believer in a positive ROI. So I look at that, I go, okay, well, if they're selling candles that are $12, they're going to have to sell a lot of candles. But if they're a consultant that does, $25,000 contracts, 15 of them a year, okay, I know I can help them. I can help them get 1 new client or 10 new clients with this book that they want to write. So there's that, right? I want to make sure that they can afford it. Like, how much do you want to spend? Little button. If they have under $1,000, then I recommend a self-publishing course for them, because we don't have anything for under $1,000 other than a little self-publishing course, which is a very good course. But if they want more like done for you services, then of course they're more expensive, but it's totally, you get what you pay for, right? Mm-hmm. So there's that. I want to know if their expectations are realistic. So in the form, it says like, what do you want to happen? If they say, I just want to sell a lot of books, I go, okay, interesting. I still might want to meet with them, but they have archaic thinking. Like, so many people think, I'm going to write a book and then 1 million people are going to buy it. It's going to be amazing. And I'm going to be sitting in a villa in France drinking cafe latte all day, and I don't have to do anything. 100% no. There's so much work that happens after you publish a book. Unless if you have $150,000 marketing budget, send it over and we'll do all the work for you. But most of our clients, they have to be realistic. So that's the other thing too, about making sure their expectations are realistic. And if they say, I want a TED talk, I want to get booked as a speaker, I'm like, okay, perfect. This is, they got the right idea here. They're going to use their book as a vehicle to open doors for them. And then the thing is, there's that one little line, I don't remember it off by heart, but it says something like, this call is free, but my time is not.
I love it.
I am putting this on my calendar, and I expect you to commit to be there on time. Put your initials, like I make them sign a little tiny little contract. And I rarely have no.
Well, it kind of cut her off there at the end there for some reason, but what a cool way to use the tool. Suzanne is absolutely using our tool to the fullest extent. So let's actually get into a few of the details of things that she's doing that are awesome and that can help you guys to qualify your own people. So first of all, time wasters suck. We don't want to deal with time wasters, those tire kickers. So there's 4 different strategies in your booking form that can help you to kill off those time wasters so you're only meeting with the right people. 1, qualification booking form questions, much like Suzanne is using there. And we'll show you some other examples too of things you can ask. But make sure they're actually right for you. Domain blocking, we're going to talk about it. So how to if you don't want to meet with certain domains at all, we're going to show you how to do that. And the accept decline meeting function, which is my favorite thing ever. And then automating your customer research to really dive into them before you even show up. So let's talk about these things in a bit more detail. First of all, the pre-qualification using the booking form. So in our last webinar, we talked about finding your target audience. You know who your target audience is. You know who pays your bills at the end of the day. So you can use the form to make sure that those are the only people you're speaking to. So you can ask questions around like, can they afford your services? Urgency. Are they kicking tires, or are they actually like interested? Use case. If you only work in the education sector, you probably don't want to meet with people from the technology sector or people from the automotive industry. So are they even relevant to your time? And then decision-making authority. Can you even close this deal, or do they have no authority to even consider it? You know what I mean? So you can really use that booking form to dive in and ask those great questions and make sure that they are a fit for you. I put together a fun little dummy booking page here as well. If you want to check it out, you can click the buttons on the screens, by the way, with this new webinar tool we're using, which is fun. Domain blocking. This one is so cool because it does two different things. One, you can make it so that your bookers have to use their business email address. Because let's be honest, if they're a grown-up, a professional, an adult with a job, they probably have a business email address. So they don't need to be booking with you with their hotmail.com email address, which we all still have, but we don't use them professionally. So you can make it so that they can't use their Gmail. They can't use their hotmail.com, their AOL, if those are still even a thing. I have no clue, but you can require them to use a business email address. One, it means that you're getting people who are actually like working for a company, working with a company. You can automatically filter out those low intent leads. You can do domain research and you can automate it, which Ben's going to talk about in a little bit. So if they book with you using, YouCanBookMe.com, you can actually Google that and see what the heck YouCanBookMe.com is. Whereas if they booked with Gmail.com, you have no clue who they are. And then finally, you can also block by like different domains. So if you want to block your competitors from your calendar, or you don't like doing business with insert name here, I don't want to pick on anybody. If you don't want to do any business with Ben.com for some reason, block it. It's fine. Sorry, Ben. The accept and decline meetings function is also so awesome for filtering out the people that you have no need to meet with. So you can actually get an alert that says, hey, Ben has requested to meet with you. Do you want to meet with Ben? Yes or no? If you hit yes, Ben would get a confirmation message being like, yep, Ben and Becca are going to meet. Thank you for booking. And if I don't want to meet with Ben, I can have an automatic message that goes to Ben letting him know, thanks, but no thanks. And like I said, we're going to send you out a document with a whole bunch of different ways that you can politely and automatically say, no, thank you. And because it's pre-scheduled and it comes to your email, so you can actually edit and customize the message that goes out to the booker before it goes to them with the message that you want saying no thank you. Ben actually had the great idea. If you could put like 4 different templated messages into YouCanBookMe, have it all come to you and just delete the ones that are irrelevant to that booker, but send them a customized but still automatic message being like, thanks, but no thanks. I'm not the right fit for you at this time. And just get those time wasters out of your face. So the automatic decline message is super powerful for avoiding those awkward meetings or the awkward conversations. So lots of different ways that you can block the person who's not the right fit for your time. Let's talk about getting the people who are the right fit to actually show up.
That's right. That's half the battle. You can't sell to somebody if they don't actually show up for their meeting. So we have seen this for years and years at YouCanBookMe that people are, beleaguered by no-shows. And the best way that we have seen from our experience and from our research is SMS reminders and making somebody pay a deposit. So let's first look at SMS reminders. We know that they increase show-up rates by up to 35%. And email and SMS, the way you can book me, you can add as many as you need at any cadence that you want. And so you can do it exactly the way it suits your business. They're completely automated. And what we know about SMS in particular is not everybody checks their emails more than one time a day, but everybody checks their phone all the time. So their phone is with them wherever they are. So if you're worried about people not showing up, sending them an SMS is absolutely going to improve their knowledge about whether that meeting or not. And then the other thing is the deposit. This may seem a little, some people get a little bit nervous about paying for their time, but as Suzanne said, your time is expensive and it's worth it. You can make them pay a deposit that would be applicable to your fees going forward if they decide to go with you. You could offer them some kind of a value add, like a report or an analysis that's part of that meeting, so that they pay for that. But at the end of the day, you are trying to get people to show up. And as Suzanne said, your time is expensive. You don't want people wasting it. So having that done is a really easy way. And frankly, both of these things can be automated. Use Stripe to take payments with YouCanBookMe. And over the years, last year, in fact, next slide, please, Ben, our customers made more than $17 million through Stripe. And that is just automated payments. That is $17 million that there was no chasing the invoice. There was no bounce checks. There was nothing like that. If the payment doesn't go through, the booking doesn't go through. And so there's a really nice way there to ensure that when those bookings do happen, if you can take some money for it, or if you have a service that you take money for, 100% take payment before they arrive, and then that cuts out all of that admin at the end. Now, up next is Ben to talk about prepping to rock your pitch.
Awesome. Thanks, Kate. So yeah, as we've already kind of talked about, there's a lot of prep that you can go into your booking workflow. So the one thing that Kate was alluding to with getting payments for your services and things up front, so you know what to prepare. So this doesn't have to be things that you necessarily charge for. There could be just meeting types and conversations that you're going to have based off of different durations, the customization of everything involved. But what this signals to you is that your client has a request or a need to talk to you about something. So that allows you to kind of prepare ahead of time of what you need to know, and to come in a little bit more ready to have that conversation. And there's more on this that I'll explain a bit later on how we can automate that to really ramp things up. The other big thing is to preserve your time and get everything set up ahead of time. So integrating all of your calendars to show when you're available across your whole life, your family calendar, your volunteer calendar, your whatever, your sports calendar, anything at all, kind of saying when all of those are free, this is when I'm truly available. You can set up padding between meetings to then have ample time to do a bit of research if you want to do that manually, or after the meeting to follow up on next steps on, rolling out the red carpet there, continuing that relationship, taking them to that next level. And it gives you that breath so you don't feel so panicked having to cut off a conversation really quickly, so you can bake that time in, and it just allows you to show up confidently and ready to go. And then as Kate mentioned with like the notifications, you can automate a lot of those follow-ups, and I'll show you a bit later how we can really kick that into gear. So this doesn't necessarily have to stop with just you as a solopreneur or as an individual person. YouCanBookMe also can ramp up to help teams of any size. So you can imagine, the time that you can save with back and forth emails with one person, exponential for a whole team. A whole team integrating their calendar, getting set up, having these be on, live pages 24/7, getting bookings for your team, so then they can focus on what they do best, just having conversations with customers, closing deals, instead of all the admin work. And I'm going to take a moment and run through another kind of use case of a customer of ours, which is a solar outfit out of Minnesota, Centauri Solar. So they use YouCanBookMe for all of their scheduling, all of their conversations they have with customers, whether that's online introductory calls to in-person calls, sales pitches, everything. They're doing between about $10 to $20 million. So we wanted to talk about this on where you could take things, right? Where you could get a whole system in place to really scale and ramp up. So a bit about their process at a really high level. We don't have time to drill into this, but it all is coming down to speed, right? The lead comes in, then somebody's on the phone with them within the next 15 minutes, immediate outreach. They have a dedicated person that is deciding who's meeting with who. So again, you may not be there yet, but in the future, you can scale up to have a full system that is making the scheduling happening end to end and really getting people to where they need as fast as possible. The other big thing that they kind of specify and they talk about is all about the prep before the conversation of sending out communication that has bunch of education because they're in a race against all their competitors, a race against distractions, and they want to be front of mind. Like you've heard before in our previous webinar, we're talking about attracting those customers, being front of mind, giving your expertise away, and basically using some qualification to drill into if somebody's right for them or not. And then all of that education, all of that goodwill increases their no-show rates because they can prove to their leads that they know what they're talking about, right? Then they have that sales meeting, everything goes according to plan, get something signed. And these are high ticket items, right? So this is really high kind of intensity to be along the whole journey with them. The other big thing that they've talked about too is, again, an improvement that you can make is all about that information that you're giving, and you're pushing any education to your customers. So again, whether that's automated through some emails on the YouCanBookMe side, or through your CRM, or through text message, any way that you can be informative without being pushy is an immediate thing you can do. And it keeps the focus on you, your brand, your services, and just keeps the conversation moving along. Right. So that's a really actionable thing that their sales director, Dylan, shared with me on a call recently. So with that, I'm going to pivot into some exciting stuff, but hang with me because there's a little bit of a kind of Easter egg coming up here. But how do we do that faster with the age of AI? How do we do everything I just talked about more efficiently? So as Becca was talking about, doing some research, right? So we have somebody that raised their hand and said, I want to talk with you. What happens then? And you can set it up and choose your own adventure. And I'll kind of lay out a really 10,000 foot view. But essentially, we can integrate with a tool like Zapier, grab all that information, have it run through an AI analysis, AI research based off of anything at all, customized to you, what you offer. And then it can give you the bullet points on what to talk about, how to handle rejections or objections, all of that stuff to be really prepared to close that sale based off of everything. You can give it as context for how you do business, the best customers that you work with, all of that good stuff. And it can essentially be your sales assistant, right? Running nonstop, 24/7. Anytime any of these leads come in, you can have it run through the system. And then it allows, again, you to do all of that stuff that normally would have taken you time. You can automate it to an AI agent to do it. And then it can deliver it to you however you need things to work. And there's really no limit to how you can develop your workflows. And the one thing that, coming back to the conversation with Dylan, is he says the way that they've scaled so exponentially is through systems, right? Is through structure, is through repeatable things that they can tweak and iterate and improve on constantly. So when we're talking about kind of Zapier, the saying is Zapier makes you happier, or happier with Zapier. So it's a very powerful tool that connects all of your apps together. So the booking comes from YouCanBookMe over to Zapier, then you can do whatever you want. But I'd like to switch this on its head. And I don't think necessarily that Zapier makes you happier, but you can do everything snappier with Zapier, right? So you can have it be doing things automatically. So at a really high level, as you're seeing here, we have a new booking coming through, sending that information to Zapier, setting up an AI node or an AI agent with a prompt to say, hey, take all this information, go and do this analysis, come back with this specific format, send me a message on Slack, send me text message, email, however you want it delivered. Then when you show up to that meeting, you're ready to go, right? You're not blindsided. You know everything about their business. You could potentially go and scrape their LinkedIn, anything at all that you can imagine that's going to help you close that deal and that sale. So whenever people hear automation and AI, they kind of glass over. So I wanted to extend a little Easter egg out to everybody. I don't know if it's an Easter egg. I guess if I click that link, but this link and this button on your screen, if you click that, you can set up a time to talk to me about your automation, about AI, about getting it into your business. Regardless if you have something set up or not, I want to talk to you. I want to demystify all of this and just show you the power at your fingertips of what you're able to do. There is no limit to what you can solve and really how easily accessible all of these tools are to you. So allow me to be your automation AI Sherpa. I will guide you through the mountain of all of this stuff. It'll be great. There's no strings attached whatsoever. I'm eager to geek out about it if you are. So click the link, find some time if you're keen. If not, there's plenty of resources out there for you to explore. So with that, I am kicking it back to Kate.
And Ben is not kidding. He loves to geek out on this stuff. So he would love to absolutely have that meeting. But at the base of it, automation is the key thing here. Is the more admin you do, the less time you have to do the work, to meet with prospects, to do the work that you're really, really good at. And so there are a number of ways that you can just use simple automations within YouCanBookMe before you even get into the Zapier and all the other things to help take away some of those key things that every meeting has got a task. Every meeting that you do, you've got to confirm it. You've got to remind people about it. You've got to follow up on it. You can take away all of those things by using the automations that are in your YouCanBookMe account. So immediately post the booking, you can that sends a confirmation. And on all of these, you have complete control over when you send it, how frequently you send it, how you can send it up for months afterwards, up to just immediately afterwards. So you can do lots of things here. There's also a really good opportunity, and this is partly what Ben was alluding to before, about these emails that sent out before the call happens to manage expectations for your client. So either you need to explain to them that they need to bring certain information in order for you to make the decision, or maybe they need to have certain paperwork ready. So you're not wasting time while they're scuffling around trying to find the documents that they need. They're ready to go, and they know what you're going to be covering, and they know what needs to happen. So again, educating them as much as preparing yourself for that meeting so you can be as productive as possible in the short time that you have together. Following up, this is exactly what the solar people that Ben was talking about are doing, and it is so powerful. We have a lot of customers doing that, using like a drip campaign. In terms of, you can send loads of follow-ups. You can send follow-ups up to a year after the meeting has happened. So we have people sending them for all kinds of reasons after meetings happen. But a really powerful way of doing it is sending, as Ben said, education, maybe thought leadership articles, maybe sending them to your website for more information, or any resources or calculators or things like that you might have on your website. Sending people to your blogs, anything that can be useful, that keeps you top of mind. So you've had the meeting, you've impressed the heck out of them, and then maybe they're meeting with other people. You want to get back in their inbox. You want to make sure that they're thinking about you again. So that is a really, really powerful thing to do. You can also do things like request feedback, ask people to go into Trustpilot or Google and leave a review. There's lots of things that you can do there with those email automations. And then the other thing is, we talk about, emails. We have a lot of default emails, and they're decent. But if I can give you one tip, improve your emails, make them more personal, you have a voice, you put your heart and soul into your business, put that into your company, into your emails, so that when anybody has any interactions, you have short attention span with people. Make sure you're grabbing their attention, make sure they know who you are, make that unique and special to you. And as you can see in that graphic there's lots of different things you can use to really personalize that information. So information they've put on the booking form, stick that back in the email to them so they know this is specific to them, and it's very, very clear about what next steps are. So so just never stick with the good enough defaults. Go ahead and really put some time into those emails, because it does make a big difference. And then the next thing in terms of automation is your CRM. So, gone to the days where you have to you've had the meeting and now you've got to go into your CRM and you've got to retype all that information from the booking information. You can put notes into your booking that can automatically get sent over to your CRM directly with a direct integration we have with HubSpot, or you can use Salesforce, Pipeline, or any of the other CRMs that you might be using with our Zapier integration. All of that information can go directly into the CRM. No typos, no forgetting, nothing falling through the cracks. But again, maybe you don't have a CRM. Maybe you're not big enough to have a CRM, or maybe you can't afford a CRM. A spreadsheet is totally fine. But the point is, if you're sending information into one place that you can review and look at, you can say, there's a trend here. These meetings I'm having, they're converting better. Or these are the type of people that I've recognized, they're actually buying when other people aren't. So you can use, it's actionable data that you can use based on the bookings that you've got. So look at the successes you're having and use that. Double down on the things that work and stop guessing about what's not working. So whether it's a CRM or whether it's just literally a spreadsheet, you can get so much information from it. And again, you don't have to type it yourself. You just automate it all. Becca?
Awesome. Let's wrap things up here, guys. 3 more minutes of me talking, and that is a wrap on our webinar. So just as a reminder, we will be sending out the 15 AI tools we love for crushing sales. We will be sending out 10 polite ways to decline a meeting without burning bridges. This meeting recording, this slide deck, all of the things will be sent out to you by end of day tomorrow. Give me a few hours. I need to edit this video, make sure it's beautiful, get it posted to YouTube, but everything will be sent out to you guys right away here. So just keep an eye on your inbox, whatever email you use to register here, you're going to be hearing from me shortly. And then lastly, a couple things. If you didn't know already, we launched a referral program whereby if you refer a friend, they get 50% off their first subscription with YouCanBookMe. I love saving my friends money, like more money to spend on wine when we go for girls' night if they don't have to spend it on YouCanBookMe, right? Let's get them a 50% discount from you. So you can get that at any time just by logging into your YouCanBookMe account and clicking refer and earn. I'm also going to just pop the link here on the screen for you if you want to click it, but I don't know, save your friends some money. You also get a $25 credit for your account too. But I love spending less money. That's great for everybody. 2 more things, and then we are done for the day. We have 2 webinars coming up in February. One specifically for executive assistants. So if you're an executive assistant out there and you would like to join us, as well as Jeremy Burrows, who if you don't know who he is in the executive assistant world, holy man, you should follow him. Incredible thought leader in that industry. But we're going to be doing an executive assistant webinar on Wednesday, February 18th. And then the very next day, we're going to be doing another one on how to make more money. There's only so many working hours in a day, and you shouldn't have to work 12, 13, 14 hours a day to make that extra bit of money, to put more money in your pocket. So we're actually going to be interviewing a panel of business founders from around the world, from multiple different countries, who have built incredibly cool companies that started out charging by the hour and then realized they were limiting how much money they could make by charging by the hour, and have all adjusted their business models to make them money while they're offline. And I would love to wake up every morning and see I made a bunch of extra money while I was asleep. These people actually figured it out, and it's so cool. We're going to hear about somebody who works in high fashion in New York City. We're going to talk about an incredible marketing genius out of Europe. We've got the guests are so cool. I can't believe they're coming to talk to us. It's going to be awesome. So we'd love it if you joined us for that webinar as well. That will be February 19th. And that's all for today, folks. Thank you so incredibly much for joining us. As always, we're so glad when we see you folks in the audience and in the chat. Thank you for joining us. And I hope we'll see you again soon in another webinar. And we'll see you in your inbox in the next 24 hours or so. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.